In terms of, I think one of the most important elements or factors or attributes that we look at from a customer perspective, from a business perspective, is that we try and see how can we retain the customer for the longest period, right? Because in today's world, with all the competition that there is with marketing, online marketing, and with all so many businesses coming up today, it's becoming more difficult by the day, more expensive by the day to acquire new customers. We have to spend much more money now, whether that's on Google AdWords or displaying ads on Facebook, and it's no longer so cheap anymore, right? Every click to your website, every footstep into your business costs you a lot of money now.
Talking with the experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. My name's Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com, and Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners, and you can find it on all good podcasting platforms and on YouTube. And today my guest is Rahul Agarwal, and Rahul's from India and his business is designhill.com. And we'll be talking today about the science of cross-selling. And Rahul's been awarded the Rising Entrepreneur of the Year 2019, Entrepreneur 35 Under 35 in 2020, and Asia's Most Promising Business Leader in 2021. And he's also the co-founder of Design Hill and created a unique online marketplace to overcome the challenges faced by the business owners in outsourcing high-quality creative solutions and designers who have been looking for creative freedom. That's always important, freedom in business, like that. He's a serial entrepreneur, passionate marketer, investor, advisor, and a firm believer in the concept of constant learning and growing. His outstanding digital knowledge and business skills have led Design Hill to be acknowledged as the creative startup of the year 2019 by Entrepreneur magazine. Wow, that's quite an achievement. Welcome, Rahul.
Thank you so much, Rose. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really looking forward to speaking with you today.
So how can cross-selling drive growth and profitability to a business?
See, what I feel is that cross-selling today is a very important function for any business. Because especially businesses, that have opportunities to vertically or horizontally integrate their business, right? Because what cross-selling allows a business to do is to increase fundamentally the lifetime value of a customer, because you have a customer who you already spent a lot of money, energy into acquiring. Now, to that customer, if you're able to sell more of your services, you can bundle services, or you can just you can offer complementary services that basically allow you to increase your overall revenue from that customer. That sort of increases your lifetime value for that customer. So cross selling, especially, like, we found cross selling to be a great tool for us, because we've implemented it across our platform, across our services, and I would say we are very big proponents of that. We really encourage that within our organization, within our marketing strategies, because that has really allowed us to retain our customers for a longer period of time. Because it's not that the customer uses your service once and he goes away. Because you're cross promoting and you're cross selling your services, or even cross promoting with different brands, you're able to acquire new customers, and it overall increases the longevity of a customer on your with your brand, as well as, I think, it builds customer loyalty as well. So they're all positives for cross selling, as well as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So what's the difference between cross selling and just partnering with another company?
See, cross-selling can happen in two ways. Either you're doing it internally, that within your product portfolio, within your services, For example, I'll give you an example from our own platform, right? We at Design Hill, we offer creative services to all kinds of businesses, big and small, and have in all types of design categories, whether that's logos or websites or brochures or whatever it may be. Now, if a customer walks in today and he's looking for a branding solution, he is probably from a restaurant industry. So we know that beyond the logo and the initial branding, he also requires menu designs, right? He also would require those designs to be printed on different products. So these are also complementary services that we have built in within our system. So what we do is that once we don't push these services or we don't offer them initially, but once the customer is already using our services, is already paid for one of our services, that is where we choose and identify different places in his customer journey where we offer him those different services, and we sort of cross promote. So that's how you do it internally. I mean, that's just an example. As far as doing it with different companies in partnerships, it sort of requires a deeper understanding of your customer, because where your customer is today, what kind of problems and pain points does he have, and what kind of services other businesses he's using. Now, if you see that there is a synergy between your company with the services that you're offering and another business, another company that they are offering, and they can be at different parts of the customer's life cycle, you can actually do really well in terms of promoting your brands to each other's audience, and that helps you acquire customers and build more brand engagement for you, for your brand, at a much cheaper cost, right? So cross selling is very wide. It can be done internally if you can build and create and offer complementary services, and you can also do it externally in partnerships with brands that have synergies with you and your audience.
Yeah, so it can actually bring new buyers to your business through cross-selling
Exactly.
partnerships. Yeah.
Yes, at a much lower cost.
Yeah. And so what are the best practices and strategies that will keep your business, strong and you're not losing money?
In terms of, I think one of the most important elements or factors or attributes that we look at from a customer perspective, from a business perspective, is that we try and see how can we retain the customer for the longest period, right? Because in today's world, with all the competition that there is with marketing, online marketing, and with all so many businesses coming up today, it's becoming more difficult by the day, more expensive by the day to acquire new customers. You have to spend much more money now, whether that's on Google AdWords or displaying ads on Facebook, and it's no longer so cheap anymore, right? Every click to your website, every footstep into your business costs you a lot of money now, and therefore a lot of the emphasis that we've always placed on is that we need to once we have acquired a customer, we need to retain that customer for as long as possible, to maximize the revenue that we can get out of that customer over a sustained period of time. And I think that is where, in fact, cross selling has really helped us as well. We do a lot of cross selling and also upselling. So a lot of things that we do, a lot of strategies that we employ are also focused on upselling to our customers. When a customer has already purchased one of our services, we see if there is a potential or there is a possibility to sort of upgrade that service. We have tiers of services so that we can actually get more revenue out of that. And at the end of the day, you have to really understand your customer and their pain points and problems. You have to understand what kind of sort of ambitions they have today, and how you, instead of just selling your services, how you can help them grow their business, or how can you help them grow and solve those problems and provide solutions to them. So I think it's a sort of a cyclical thing where you keep analyzing that, and you keep building services, or you keep building solutions for those things that your customers require. And I think in doing that, you sort of retain your customers for a longer period of time. You increase your lifetime value of your customer, you increase customer loyalty, and eventually that is what pays off in the end, because as I said, marketing is getting expensive now. It's getting very difficult to acquire customers on the cheap. So you have to see how you can retain your customers for as long as possible and get as much revenue out of them as possible.
Yeah, so I guess going on from that is the lifetime of your clients or customers. What are some of the skills for cross selling that you might have to learn or be armed with before you can take that journey?
In terms of skills, I've already mentioned it today a couple of times, but not a lot of businesses do that. You have to really build your customer persona, you know, to really understand what your customer is, who does he or she look like, what are their preferences, what kind of devices they, sort of use, what are the websites they visit, what are their pain points, ambitions, all of these things. And once you do that, if you're able to map that out, you're really, you can build your strategies around that. You can build your entire marketing strategy, your sales strategy around that. And I think that's one of the most important things that people into businesses need to look at. And beyond that, for us, as far as cross selling is concerned, one of the main things we do is we really map out journey on our platform. From the time that they actually make a payment, they visit our website, to the point that they make a payment for, to purchase one of our services. And throughout that period, where we see that where are those opportunities, where are those happy moments, where are those moments where a customer is, the satisfaction rate is higher. If they've received a great design and they've given a 5-star rating to a, for example, to a designer, we know that at that point of time that customer is really happy. And at that moment, we will give them a small snippet or a pop-up offering them an additional service or an upgrade on their service, because we understand that at that point of time the customer satisfaction rate is already very high for us. So these sort of things really make a lot of difference in terms of if you were to point out skills. I think these are the skills that businesses really need to attain in terms of building their customer personas, understanding their user journeys, understanding the complementary services or complementary businesses with whom they can have synergies to offer these services. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think those things are really essential when even if you're not trying to promote or cross sell or upsell anything, just keeping
Yeah.
that customer service mindset is really important. So,
Right.
how do you think since COVID-19 cross selling is evolving?
I think it was evolving even before that, but since the COVID-19 pandemic, I think a fundamental difference that has come about is from the mindset of the businesses, the entrepreneurs. Because they've had to really go out and be conservative about how they're spending their dollars. How they're spending their money on marketing and acquiring new customers. And because, as I said, marketing is getting expensive, so they cannot splurge anymore as far as businesses are concerned. Post COVID and pre COVID, they've had to cut down on their marketing budgets, and they've had to conserve on their spends. And I think that is where they're looking at more partnerships. They're looking at ways in which they can economically acquire new customers. That is where they're looking at having partnerships with different businesses where synergies are there, and they're able to get more value for their dollar. I think that's how cross selling is evolving, in the sense that businesses are now more, in fact we are getting a lot of businesses are reaching out to us now for partnerships, where they want us to send out emailers to our audience, to our community members through emailers, or have newsletters which are sent out together. And it was something that was not so common and so often before COVID, but now it is happening. So businesses are realizing the importance of cross selling much more now, because of the need to spend less and to be more effective with their marketing dollars.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, that people are getting into, venture partnerships now, not necessarily
Yes.
buying from each other, but, as you said, cross-selling like through
Barter.
newsletters or their websites or backlinks
Yes,
or whatever it might be.
exactly.
Mm.
Yes, that's happening now. So that's how the scenario is changing. And as I said, in the beginning, that I cannot emphasize the more on the importance of cross selling for businesses, because we at within our business and our organization, we preach it, we've practiced it, we've done it internally, we've done partnerships with different brands, and we've only seen the good results. Not all of them may work, but a lot of them do. And end of the day, if you're able to get your brand out in front of the right audience, in front of the right customers, that is going to make an impact sooner or later. So
Yeah, it's
why not
getting out in front of the
do it?
right audience, isn't it? That
Yes,
sometimes that's the
exactly.
hard part of being a
Yeah.
business owner, or entrepreneur, is you're getting, even though you have your avatar, that can all be well
Yeah.
and good, but getting it out, getting your product service out there to the right audience can be quite a challenge sometimes.
Exactly. And if businesses have already acquired customers, so if there is a business who has a similar customer audience to you, and if they've put in the effort to already acquire those customers and they have a database of those customers, and if you're able to market to them at a fraction of the price that you would otherwise have to, then it'll make a lot of difference. And one last thing, a very important point about cross selling with different businesses is that when a business promotes another brand or recommend another brand to their audience, it comes with a high level of trust, right? Because as my customers have used my services and they've been satisfied with my services, now today if I tell them that, hey, use this XYZ website, and it'll help you solve your accounting issues, or it'll be a great tool for you guys, then they will have they will trust it more. They'll trust our recommendation much more than what they would otherwise if they were seeing it through an ad or a video on social media. So
Yep.
so therefore the effectiveness is even higher.
Yep, absolutely. No, that's a great point too. Now, Raul, what last piece of advice would you offer our listeners today about cross-selling and, how they could get themselves into it?
Uh, in terms of a piece of advice, what I would really say is that you need to just see that if there is any other service that you as a business are able to offer to your customers, which is complementary to what you already offer. Now, you have two options after identifying that, whether you can offer it yourself, or is there a company or is a business which is already doing it. So if you can build it yourself, then you can offer it yourself as a service, but it takes time and money and energy. And before you do that, so you can actually test it out by partnering with that company and seeing that if that complementary service is being used by your customers, and if how they are responding to it. So it actually is a very good test case scenario for you, before you spend your money and efforts and time into building something that you may feel that is going to be a great cross-selling opportunity for you. You can actually partner with such a company and you can test it out. So I think that's something that we actually do it quite often, and we found a lot of good results and bad results from it. So it saved us a lot of time and money. So I think that's a sort of a tip that I would have for people who are looking into the cross-selling space.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Find businesses like your own and do it that way. That way, you're not really. There's no competition that way, I don't think. It's
Yeah.
a win-win for both companies or businesses or whatever. Right. Well, where
Right.
can they
Yeah.
find you?
So I'm available on LinkedIn. That's the platform I'm the most active on. So anybody who needs to reach out to me, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn at Rahul Agarwal, and they just have to probably type Design Hill with my name in the search box, and I'll pop up. I'm generally very quick to answer or reply back. So that's the best way to reach me. Or otherwise, you can just reach to us at our website at www.designhill.com. We have 24/7 customer support, live chat. So just in case if somebody's not able to reach out to me on LinkedIn, they can just drop in a message to our customer support agents, and generally I'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Wonderful. Yes, that's um hard to come by to get night service and to get 24-hour turnaround on replies. Trust me.
Yeah, I think that's what we've always preached and tried to practice from day one. I think that's really helped us stand out. Being an Indian company, 95% of our customers come from US. So it's something that we have to do. We have to provide excellence in our
Yeah,
service and
absolutely.
customer support.
Absolutely.
that's
And I mean, people expect that, especially now that they're all, becoming more digitally minded. They want 24/7 support. They don't want to have to wait, for 5 hours because, the other side of the world's asleep.
Yes.
Mm.
I think
All right,
I
Raoul,
think
thank you
it's
so
a
much
need
for your
now.
time. I
Thank
shall,
you so much.
I'll speak to you again later in the year, probably when we can catch up in the bandwidth's a little bit better than it is tonight. So, yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Thank you. It
thanks
was a
so
pleasure to be
much.
here. Thank you so much.
Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much, Rose. It was a pleasure to be here. Bye.